Hey guys, how's it going? Octopus here. Welcome back to Union Cross and me finally making some more videos since E3. It's been 5 days, guys. I made a little hello video real quick to say, hey, I'm still alive, and now we're here. I'm going to be talking about the Imitation deal. I'm going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts 3. Avatar boards just came out, and I'm going to be going over the 7-star increase just a little bit because I told you guys when Prime Axel landed, he wasn't going to be the best for that long, and it happened. It was really good for PvP, but I think on the last day of PvP or the last 2 days, everyone was able to make their medals into 7-star if you kept your fairies. If you didn't, then Prime Axel was the best for PvP during that week. But during this week, that is not the case anymore, depending on how many fairies you guys have. But I want to go through all of this. I'm going to keep this section to this part right here, and in the next part, we're going to talk about the new Sora medal that came out, Zexion, and I believe the VIP medal that is just as strong as a Warrior of Light and Final Fantasy Record Keeper Terra. So for now, let's jump into this. Let me keep it like a little bit organized so we're not like spending 40 minutes on one video. First thing, like I said in the notice here regarding buffs to 7-star medals, every medal in the game got a buff. So that basically means that even tier 3s and 4s are technically better than the tier 6, 7s, and 8s we have in the game, as long as we're comparing the 7-star low tier to a 6-star high tier. So in this case over here, take an example of Pooh and Piglet. Pooh and Piglet, if you evolve them as a tier 4 with 9.53, he has a base multiplier of 21 point something, which is on par with the best medals in the game, which is Final Fantasy Record Keeper Terra and Warrior of Light. Their multipliers are the best. Take away all the utility and you look at the base multiplier and damage, this 7-star Pooh and Piglet will do more damage than a Warrior of Light that is 6 stars. But again, if you make those medals into 7 stars, like the Scar, the Diz, all of that, they will be better than these 7 stars. But just for anyone that's new, your tier 3s and your tier 4s are going to help you out for a very long time, especially in PvP. You don't have to be scared of someone using all these cool 6 stars when your 7-star tier 4s are going to do just as much damage, even some tier 3s. So that buff is everywhere, guys. Prime Axel was just the first. I don't know why they did it like that. It was kind of tricking towards people. Like they're like, hey, look how powerful this medal is. Jokes. It's not really that powerful because every medal got a boost in the game. It's just that those prime medals have a lot of utility on them, which makes them very, very good, especially with the 5 trait slots if you're super lucky, but never chase traits. It never turns out good. Sometimes it will, RNG, but majority of the time you will be disappointed with your paralysis resist if you're not playing PvP. So let's go into one of the main things right now, which is this deal right here. This is the big one that a lot of people have been asking me, should I pull from this, should I not pull for this? And this depends on who you are, beginner, veteran, or a chaser. So for beginners, basically this deal is saying, hey, you don't have stained glass, you don't have any good buffers in your game, pull 5 times and you get yourself a bunch of copycat medals and you're pretty much set to keep up with the game. That being said, in some situations, especially PvP, Xion and Kairi are no longer needed because there is no counters on enemies' heads. You don't have to restore your HP because the rounds come with fresh starts each Keyblade setup. So Kairi and Xion aren't as good as they used to be in PvP ever since stained glass medals, and now on top of that, prime medals. And you guys might be saying, well, they restore gauges, but so do medals like Scar, Diz, and all these new medals coming out. They restore gauges along with applying all these buffs and debuffs and being huge damage dealers. So in a way, you don't need Kairi and Xion for PvP and certain quests in the game. Of course, they are going to still have their place. They're still good. They're not going to be replaced anytime soon, hopefully, but you do see a pattern already with that Prime Axel and now this Prime Sora. So take that into consideration, that these buffers are good with all the other things they do with healing, gauges, and all that, but realistically, if you're doing like PvP only, this is not the way to go. But as a beginner, if you have no copycat medals, great way to get copycat medals. You pull 5 times, that's 1 Fantasia Make It Be, and you get yourself a good buffer for basically everywhere. You can apply to PvP, PvE, Coliseum, Quest, all that, really good. In this, though, if you're thinking that you're going to pull 5 times and get a copycat medal and think you're going to be great, remember that if you pull 5 times and you only see 1 copy of the key arts each, then you see a Nominee, then you see a Riku, that your 5 pulls, you pulled 1 different copycat medal each time, you don't have enough Mickey and Brooms to gilt all those medals. Remember that. They do come pre-orbed. up to 3 dots, meaning that you only need 3 Mickey and brooms to gilt them if they come pre-orb 3. 3 yellow dots filled up, you only need 3 Mickey and brooms. Worst case scenario, you need 5 Mickey and brooms per medal that you pull. That's if you have no copycat medal. So as a beginner, it's good and it's bad. It's not going to give you the full power, but it's going to give you the ability to copy your buff medal, Kairi or Xion, depending on the one you want, with a forward copy medal and a backwards copy medal. That'll help you in story, help you in proud mode, help you in some quests, especially just whatever's generally in the game, and also allow you to pass a lot of in the Coliseum to get those boards for the extra stuff here and there. So it's not bad for beginners, but with the direction the game's taking with the prime medals and stained glass medals being a thing, a lot of medals already come with the buffs and debuffs that we need, just specific colors. Like Prime Axel was power, this Sora is magic, where Kairi and Xion are generally good on everything. They do all buffs and debuffs for every attribute. So that being said, there is 2 medals in here that veteran players or players that are chaser can go for traits. So veterans, you're only pulling this for traits most likely. You already have everything gilted, so you really don't have to worry about this. Do not go chasing for traits. Everyone who chases traits, this is a great opportunity if you want to get new traits on every single copy medal, but remember that pool is huge. The chances of getting the copycat medal you guys want to reroll traits on are very slim, and most likely if you've been around long enough, you don't need another Kairi or Xion. You could roll extra attack on one of them. I've seen people get really lucky, but how many players are out there and how many people actually post getting extra attack is very, very far apart. Probably like the 5% of the game's population has extra attack on Kairi or Xion, and that sounds like it's generous. So the deal is lacklusting because I think if it was a falling price deal and allowed us to have 2 copycat medals per pull, that would be something else that's really good. Especially if you're going for extra attack on a copycat medal, just grab this deal, which is 1500 per pull, and you get guaranteed these 3. So you slim your chances down for rolling extra attack on a trait medal. But like I said, with examples like Prime Axel, you really don't need to triple cast a Kairi or Xion anymore, because Prime Axel, stained glass medals, or any prime medal coming out in the future has all the buffs and debuffs you need, depending on what Keyblade you're using. So keep that in mind, guys. As for the new medals that just came out, the Lion Pete and the Beagle Boys, I believe that's what they're called. Yeah, Beagle Boys and Lion Pete. Beagle Boys gauge cost is 5 and they're only a tier 3, which sounds terrible, but remember there's proud mode, and a medal that costs 5 or more is useful. You can use him to copy your Xion or your Kairi or your stained glass medal wherever you need to for certain proud mode. Along with Lion Pete, he's going to have his place in certain places as well for backwards copycat medal. And then on top of it, because they are low tier, this is all the pros about them, is that if we ever get a Phil's Cup again or anything that says use only tier 3 medals, only tier 4 or below, these medals are going to be really, really good because they are on a copycat medal lower. I think they're the lowest copycat medals in the game. I don't think any other copycat medals lowered them. I believe tier 3 is the lowest we have in North America because of Lock, Shock, and Barrel in JP. I believe tier 3 is the lowest and Pete's tier 4. There is no other copycat medals that have that. There's Antiform Vanitas, there's Riku there, there's the 2 nominees. Yeah, they are the lowest tier. So when it comes to those quests that come out, Phil's Cup and everything, getting one of these medals might actually turn out really, really good. But again, that's like 2 or 3% of the quests that we have. You're pulling and wasting all these jewels just to do a quest to get 3,000 jewels. So you'll pull 5 times, spend 15,000 jewels, get one of them. You're like, yes, next tier 3 cup that comes out, I'm set. You spent 15,000 jewels to get 3 or 5,000 jewels. Remember, your jewel ratio has to be very worth it. Besides that, proud mode, it could turn out good, but again, how much jewels are you spending to actually pull one of these medals out of this giant pool of copycat medals? So I don't think they're terrible, especially now that they're easier to make into a 7-star. They could be incredible. I did make one of my key art beginning bonds or sky. I think it was, for one of my counts, it was Sky, Key Art Skies, that I made into a 7-star. Oh no, it was bonds. I made it to a 7-star, and it's been absolutely crazy, especially copying another 7-star medal. Because they're such a low tier, they're not a tier 6, 7, or 8. I do prefer using my fairies on Copycat medals, so they can copy my 7-star tier 6, 7, 8, having that giant attack, and then taking that 7-star medals multiplier, and boom, I got 2 heavy hitting new 7-star medals. Like my KR bonds over here will copy my warrior light with that giant multiplier, and because I made the KR bonds into a 7-star, that giant strength combined, it makes it really worth it in my opinion compared to making some new medal into a higher one. But that's just for certain situations. Most of the time, don't do that. Either way, that's not the point of this. The point is that this Lion Pete and Beagle Boys, it looks great for certain situations, but how many jewels are you spending to get how many jewels back? I don't think that it's really worth the chase, and they are going to be in the pool. They're not special, they're not EX. They're every time you pull from a new banner, they should be part of that pool system. So this is not the only way to get these medals. They're not limited to this pool. They are now part of the entire game. So that's this banner. I basically am going to be skipping out on this. I don't see myself wasting jewels as a free-to-play player, or even a very, very cheap-to-play player, because I only buy VIP maybe once a month if there's something incredible in that VIP, which might be this week. We're going to talk about that in the next video. But that's my opinion on this Copycat banner. It's great. We've wanted this for so long, but it's one of those that's a little too late and not enough on the deals there. Falling price deal would have made it good if it wasn't a falling price deal, but it allowed you to have 2 Copycat medals per pull. Also a great deal. Those 2 together, pretty much a no-brainer to pull for those. You know what I mean? If you already have your set damage dealers. But I'm basically just repeating myself from this point. It's up to you guys what you want to do with this. Honestly, never chase traits. It just doesn't turn out good most of the time. Again, 5% population will show you otherwise, but the other 95% of us playing will have the worst sleep resist on everything or something like that. So that is pretty much for the polls. I am going to go over Zexion and the new Prime Sora in another video, but for now I just want to go over that real quick, and of course the avatar boards. So the avatar boards, currently you do have these 2 right here. Unless you want the costumes, skip out on these. You really don't need them. If you want the gems, still not a good ratio. When they come up with gem boards, they're like 2,000 gems for 2,000 jewels for 5 gems on your choice, power, speed, or magic. 1,500 is more for the costume and all that, because I believe the skills in this aren't that great. They're attack boost 6. Yeah, there's no max skill there and no max defense, so you're really not going for anything there but the avatar. As you can see here, I already bought the male version of this avatar board, and I will be buying the female version, but I like to wait for the last couple days on these because I want to see what new medals come out for polling. But avatar boards take priority over polling anything unless you already have skills left behind, because if you pull for a new medal, guys, you're not going to have the skills if you don't buy the avatar boards. There's no other way to get skills unless you pull for these. I mean, if you buy these avatar boards or you pull during the skills to thrill, there's no other way to get skills. So you can have a brand new huge attacking medal, but if you don't have attack boost max on that, or an attack boost in general, your medal's useless. It's not going to help you that much. So for 1,500 jewels, which is 2,500 jewels, you do get this new Kairi and Sora Kingdom Hearts 3 versions, which Kairi looks adorable, but she also looks a little awkward in this picture. I don't know, something about her face just looks really, really off. Even Sora looks a little different, but I like it. I like the costume, so I'll definitely go for both of the boards, not only for the avatars, but attack boost 6 max, SP gauge 1, 100% stock up on this. Have 2 on hand at all times. Defense boost 3 max, if you want to compete in PvP, this is a no-brainer. Defense boost 3 max is guaranteed in every single Keyblade setup. Your second setup, not so much in PvP, because that's a throwaway setup. You don't need a buffer in that. You don't need defense boost max. You want to lose that round. So technically you only need 2 defense boost 3 maxes. So this is really, really good to start joining PvP. Attack boost maxes, attack boost 5 max, and Lux plus plus for the rating, especially because tomorrow or tonight it's going to be 24-hour double Lux. That's going to help out incredibly. A plus plus is a huge amount of Lux. As for everything else, it's just gravy on top. You're really just buying these for those skills. 3 skills for 2,500 is incredible, and also the gloves and bracelet give skill perk +8, which again, you don't need the attack boost max skills if you have enough skill perk. I don't believe there's 100% at the moment, but it's pretty close. So in my opinion, battery's dying, meaning this video should be finishing very soon. These 2 avatar boards are absolutely amazing, and I think everyone, especially anyone considering trying to make top 3,000 for PvP, should be getting these boards. But defense boost 4 max should also be just around the corner. Take that a note. So depends what you guys want to do, but I am going to be purchasing both of them. I'm just waiting the 6 more days on this one because I did get what I needed for my main account for now, so I will wait till the last minute to see if there's new avatar boards or new polls coming in, especially the Toy Story collaboration. I know the polls for that might not be amazing, but the high score challenge attached to it will be, just like how that Warrior of Light was a thing. So that is pretty much everything for this update video, guys. I just want to go over that in a separate one because you can see these take quite a while. So if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit the like button, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.